When do you start shooting your next? We know only this much that you're making a film which has Kartik Aaryan.
We are right now in the prep stage.
Okay.
Kartik still has Satyaprem Ki Katha that he's shooting. So I think we should be starting around April.
Your film 83 came during the pandemic. Do you think if it had come slightly later in today's day and age when people are going, it would have done better business?
For sure. The 83 is by far the best film I've made as a filmmaker. I have made a Kabul
Right,
Express
yeah.
in 3.5 crores.
Talking just about Kartik, what appealed you about?
You know, Kartik is one of the most exciting actors today on the horizon. Hi, I'm Kabir Khan and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.
Your film 83 came during the pandemic.
During the
And
pandemic.
do you think if it had come slightly later in today's day and age when people are going, it would have done better business?
For sure, because I mean, I don't want to say it because it's my film,
Sure.
but I am now have a distance from that film.
Yeah.
To know that 83 is by far the best film I've made as a filmmaker, as far as craft goes, and I've not met anybody who has seen the film who has not liked the film.
Of course.
But yes, our timing was very bad. We jumped into the second wave, and the fact that from 4 days into our release, Delhi shut down. By the time our first week ended, 9 states had shut down. So
Right.
you can't fight that, right? And so therefore, yes, initially for the first month or two, I was really depressed about it. I was really sad about it because it was really a work of passion,
Yeah.
and it was a work of passion that came together so beautifully. I think the actors were brilliant. The technical departments, really did a fabulous job. The VFX, nobody even realizes how much VFX. People don't realize that 83 has more than 3,000 VFX shots because it's what we call invisible VFX. It's not the VFX that screams out and says, "Guys, I'm VFX, watch me."
This is the magic that people don't know.
They don't realize that the ball was not there. They don't realize that the players are on a different plane. The boundaries on a different plane. The audience is on a different plane. The buildings that are the stadiums don't exist today. They are on a different plane. So there are 4 layers going into each shot. But it's invisible VFX.
Right,
You don't notice it. And in our country,
That's the victory of it.
Unfortunately, for me, the best VFX is a VFX that's not seen.
didn't
But that's not the way our sort of industry approaches that. I think we try and we appreciate VFX that's seen and it's in
Right.
your face much more. So for sure. But I said, now that I have distance from it, and also I can gauge it from the fact the kind of love that I've got for this film is probably 3 times of any of my film, or I would say actually all my films put together. And I have made some films that got a lot of love
Right.
from the audience. So for almost 6 months post when it came onto the OTTs, I would wake up to at least 10-12 messages, and the messages that would come for 83 were not the usual kind of messages that you get for one of your successful films. They say, "Hey, great job, had a lot of fun, entertaining." I was getting like 2-page, 3-page catharsis, people crying and emotional and talking about their how they, when they were kids and they watched it with their parents, what their father went through. So it's been it'll always have a special place in my heart. But yes, of course, to answer your question, I do believe that it would have done much better had it come in normal times. And but I guess that's life.
Right. But also since you said this, you think, I'm sitting facing you with a wall like which has national award, all your posters. You think this was one of your best works?
As a judging as a director, as a somebody who has the craft of the film and what you can do with material, by far. Because it's one of those, every other film I would look back and I'll say, oh shit, I should have done this, I should have done this. Oh, I could have created this and crafted this better.
Right.
When I look back at 83, it's not been too long, but it's been, a year now. I would not change a thing.
You would not change
I
a
would
thing?
not change a thing. It's just one of those films that everything came together exactly the way So I own every second of it.
Amazing. It shows, and like you said, the love you got is what speaks volumes about it. Kabir, you have also worked with leading stars. This is going to be your way of filmmaking. That these are star-driven films also, which is why they turn out to be expensive films. Do you think there should be some correction there at least?
Yes. So post-pandemic, I think all of us are making corrections.
Okay.
For sure, because one has become aware that the theatrical pie is shrinking. So therefore, I think every film, not just me, all of us are being very careful about what we spend, and we're trying to make sure that whatever we spend is on what is coming on screen. Because a large part of sometimes the budgets of our films are on elements that are not seen on the screen.
Okay.
That's the stuff that everybody's trying to cut off. So we can't compromise.
For
on
example, for a layperson to understand this?
For example, the size of a crew.
Okay.
Don't travel with 150 people.
Yeah,
Try and make it with 100 people.
Right.
Don't make everybody fly business class.
Right. This is where you can easily cut.
Easily, don't stay in the most expensive hotels in the cities you go into. Stay in comfortable places, but cut all that kind of stuff. Don't have 20 vanity vans
Right.
if you can make do with 10.
Right.
All those kind of things that don't really show on screen, but really add up over a 100-day schedule.
Yeah.
Be very careful about wastage, whether it's in your production design. Make sure, a lot of times you would say, okay, let's make this set, and give me a 360. I don't know where I'm going to turn my camera. Don't do that. Do some more homework.
What is not needed.
Yeah, and say, give me 180 degrees. I'll manage in that. So we plan more, and we're doing that. And it's a great. See, it's not that we've not done that before, right? I have made a Kabul Express in 3.5 crores. So you have to go back to making a film and saying, oh, I only have 30. At that film I shot in 38 days.
Right.
So even in the number of shooting days, if you can try and see how you can control it. Again, not compromise the way you would want to mount your film.
The product should not.
But just be aware of the wastage that takes place. And a lot of wastage just takes place on film sets.
Right. Those stars you work with, this level of stars you work with, is this possible to cut down so much?
It is, because Rohit, everybody down the food chain is understanding this.
Okay, that's good.
Because at the end of the day, it reflects on all of us, right? All of us want our films to be declared successful, and ultimately it's a function of the budget.
Right.
Right. So I think whether it's the stars, or whether it's the directors, or whether it's the producers, even the technicians, everybody is today aware that yes, I think we have to tighten our belts till things come back to normal.
Right.
See, pre-pandemic, things were 400, 500 crores were on the cards for films, right? So now I think we'll have to wait till that happens again, and it will happen.
It will happen.
For sure in the next year or two, and then we can maybe have a little more luxury.
Right.
But till then, I think we should tighten our belts and make sure that we make the films in as tight a budget as we can.
That's amazing. So we are sitting in January. When do you start shooting your next? We know only this month that you're making a film which has Kartik Aaryan, right?
Yes.
That's all. We won't push you to tell us more. But when do you start? When does it go on?
So we are right now in the prep stage. Kartik still has his a film, Satya Prem Ki Katha, that he's shooting.
Right.
So I think that should be over, I would say, by March.
Right.
So I think we should be starting around April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking just about Kartik, what appealed you about him? What do you like him as an actor? Did you enjoy his movies?
I always go for people's energy, and there's something about the character that once I've written the character, I have that character in mind. And Kartik is one of the most exciting actors today on the horizon. And so I met him, and I met him with an open mind. We said, let's meet. It's not. I'm not meeting you to offer you a film, but let's meet, because there has been some we had some chats before that also. So I said, let's discuss ideas. I'll tell you what I am doing. At that point in time, I had not locked on this script. I was working on a couple of ideas. No, this was one of them. But I said, let me tell you the kind of ideas I'm working on. Let me understand from you what is the kind of stuff that you would like. And so we met for dinner, which I think we both thought will probably be an hour-long dinner. It turned out to be more than 3 hours.
Wow.
And I really liked his energy. I really liked his passion for films. I really liked the fact that he wanted to do he didn't want to get stuck in only doing one kind of genre. He wanted to do two different kinds of films. And something that I must say, I've never mentioned this ever before, but what was very refreshing about Kartik, and I met him, I think, post the release of Bhool Bhulaiya 2, which had already been declared a blockbuster. And trust me, when you meet an actor post a huge success, you have to reserve at least half an hour to hear about their film. And Karthik never spoke about Bhool Bhulaiya. He was just talking about the kind of work he likes to do, the kind of work that he would like to do with me. And I think that's really refreshing to have somebody who's really on the cusp of becoming a superstar at that point in time. Today he's already been dubbed the superstar. And yet, really talk about films and craft and stories. And from there, then, it all began. I shared the stories with him. He really resonated with it. And then I began to see him as my character.
You liked his energy and that match. That's why you all are working together. What do you think about his work? He did a Bhool Bhulaiya which was different from Freddy, where he was this quiet guy, completely different. Did you enjoy his work? Anything that you saw?
So, that shows the hunger and greed in an actor, right? And there's nothing better for a director than a hungry actor. An actor who's trying to reach out for different material, an actor who's trying to break out of his comfort. Because in this industry, too many people go into a comfort zone. In fact, my biggest complaint with this industry is that the moment you hit success, you start replicating what you became successful with, and I think that's really boring. Because I think success actually gives you the opportunity to reach out for other variety. When you're not successful, when people say, "ये ठीक कर रहा है, तू यही करते रहे," but when you're successful is when you can reach out for different things, and that is what I liked about Karthik. When he became successful, he didn't say, "Oh, let me keep replicating it." He said, "Okay, can I get this? Can I get this? Can I try that?" And that is something, as I said, it's always a very refreshing element.
Right. Will it be a Karthik we've never seen before?
Without doubt, I can say that.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
doubt.
So looking forward to that one.
Hi, I'm Kabir Khan and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.